Hey everybody, it's your lovely Lotus Blossom Lizzie, and I'm here today with a planner setup for the Color Crush, which is Webster's Pages, and I'm doing this for the month of March. Now I was actually going to use another Recollections planner for the month of March, but then I got the Color Crush and I really wanted to use it. So I'm going to be using that today. And throughout the month, I've actually kind of been gathering everything that needs to go into this particular planner because I'm not going to use everything that I had in the last one. So what I was using for February is actually the Recollections Rose Gold, and you can tell it's been used. I got some scratches on it, but that's okay. You know, it is what it is. It's being used, and it is kind of packed up. And so I'm going to move some of these items over, but some of them I'm not. So before I had these nice floral dividers, and boy, I couldn't get that. I was stuck in my throat. It had these dividers, and so I changed all the dividers and everything. So I wanted to have a fresh look, and it's nice that the rings are the same as the Recollections so that I can just move some things over, but there's a lot in this little box right here. So I'm going to try to go through this pretty swiftly. And like I said, I did a lot of pre-planning, so hopefully this video won't be too long. So again, this is the Webster's Pages, and it's the Color Crush. And I got it brand new, and it came with all these dividers. And you can check out the review for this. I'm not sure if it's up just yet. If it's not, it will be soon. So I'm going to go ahead and take out everything that's in here because I'm not using any of this. And I'm going to put this aside. And then I'm also going to take out this little piece of cardboard here because we don't need that. And then we have like a really fresh start for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the secretarial pocket and the pockets themselves. And what I did was I used some cardstock, and I have everything all bound up together here. I used some cardstock from the same book to do mostly everything in here, and I'm not going to go through it because it's just too much. And maybe in a future video what I'll do is through the month I'll just show you the bits and pieces, and then you'll get to see the setup at the end. So right now I'm just going to put these two pieces of card in here, and I just cut these out. There's nothing on the back. Very simple. You can cut that by hand if it's something that you want to do. And I just like to put it in the front so that this will have, you know, just a bit of, you know, color there, so it will all flow through. And it also serves as protection for the back of the planner itself, so that's nice. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to set up these pockets right here. I have these cards right here that I'm going to be using, and these are just some cards that I got from Tuesday morning. They were on sale. They came like in a little booklet, and so I'm just going to stick these in just for like some decoration. And also I like to use these to actually hold the paper clips that I'm going to be putting in the front, and that way they won't damage the pockets themselves. So I'm just going to put quite a few of these little note cards in here. And of course, if they just happen to come out, some of them have some nice sayings on them, and they're inspirational and motivational type of cards. So, and then the last one, I'm going to stick this one in, and it says your adventure awaits. So I'm just going to stick this in the pocket. Since we have a see-through pocket here, I wanted to be able to show that and still have a little bit in the front. So that's what it looks like in the front there. And then I'm just going to stick, and I'll probably be using these, but I'm just going to stick a few of the paper clips that I'm going to be using for the month. And I made these paper clips. I actually got the materials from the dollar store, and I did get the gold paper clips themselves from Staples, but these pieces at the top, I got these from the dollar store, and they're very vintagey looking, so I thought that I would use it because this theme in here it's a very vintage 70s kind of vibe, and so it's a lot going on, but I like it. All right, so the next thing that we're going to put in, and we're going to start from the front and go back, and I'm going to put everything in here, and then I'm going to actually decorate the weekly pages. So the first thing we're going to do is we have our dividers here. I have dividers, and I have the front divider here, and you'll notice with this particular theme that every piece has this washi in it. Here's the washi itself, and this and the paper itself was kind of the inspiration for this theme, and I really love it. And like I said, there's a lot going on, but I managed to pull everything together, and it looks like something like a kit that you would buy. So I'm really proud of myself for that. So you'll see here we have the washi, and then this is just like the base cardstock here has telephones on it, and then there's another one that has like Las Vegas, and then on the back it's just kind of plain, but all this cardstock came from the same book. So I'm going to put that in first because I want that to be the first page in here. And then the next page is going to be actually the divider itself. And one thing that I didn't do, and I'll do off camera, is I'm going to put the labels on here because I forgot to put the labels on. And actually I want to use this one, this label next, or this divider next. And this is going to be for the calendar. And so let me go ahead and get the labels out. Okay, so here are the covers. I have the divider covers here, and then I have date covers also for the weeklies. So I'm going to put on the Gmail. Oops, sorry about that, y'all. Hit the mic. Let's put this on. And I could have put the actual labels underneath the lamination, but I really wanted to be able to change them if I wanted to, so that's why I'm putting the labels on the top. All right, so this is the next one. So now within the calendars itself, I'm going to put in, sorry for the rifling around, it's just a lot of stuff to go in here, so you guys gonna hear lots of paper flowing around here. So this right here is just kind of a homemade calendar per se, and I made this from these sticky notes that I got, and I got these sticky notes for like 20 cents, and you can see they are actually in a little sleeve here, and I just took one of them out, and then I just hand wrote the dates for March on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in because this is where the actually the weeklies are going to go before that. So let's put the weeklies in here, and I think I did this a little bit backwards. Okay, wait, let me just change this up real quick because I want this to be on a different header here. This one is the Getting things all messed up here, you guys. And I really don't want to do a lot of editing, so, you know, it is what it is. This is what you see. So this first one should be calendars. So I hope we got everything on the screen here. I'm going to put calendars. Okay, so calendars is going to go in first. Now, there we go. And then the weeklies are actually going to go here. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick that in there. And then I'm going to do the weeklies after I get done putting everything in. So next will be the digital calendar, which is denoted by G calendar. So we got that one in. And then the next thing we're going to do is we'll go ahead and put in our pages. Now again, I cut all these off of camera. This is just some grid paper. I cut it down to the size that I want it to be. I print it on the front and the back, and then I'm just going to use these for my weeklies. So I just want to put in enough. I'll just put in a few for now, so don't waste too much time counting out. And these are going to be actually here for the weeklies. Okay, and then our digital calendar will go behind here, but I'll print that out when I actually do next week that's coming up. So then the next thing that we're going to need is we are going to need our store list. So our store list will be the next one. Let's see, I have to put them together so I can figure out which one is the next one down. Actually, I think and you can look at the actual design. And again, I just did these with some cardstock, and I this is actually the base cardstock here. It has some records on it, and then this has like disco and some music and wow. And then again, I put like little pieces of that washi to kind of pull them together. So actually, this one is going to be the digital one. So again, that's life. You make a mistake. Nobody's perfect. This one is going to be for our store list. And this is where I put all the list for the stores that I go to, so that when I go there, I'll know what I need. So that's going in next. So then the next one that we need is going to be our, let's see, look at this. It's going to be our mom's list, so my mom's projects, because I have stuff that I have to do for my mom. And so we're going to put mom's projects in here. And I kind of wish I did this off of camera so it'll be faster. So this is what this one looks like. And again, this is the base cardstock that I use. I use another piece of cardstock that has like something from Las Vegas. And then I put pieces of washi around here and a little bit of cardstock from another piece of cardstock, a little piece of cardstock from another scrap that I had. And then you can see what the back looks like. And then the next thing that we're going to need is our routines. So let's put the routines in. Go ahead and mark that one. We got routines. And what I did was on this sheet, on that sheet right there, is I actually just printed out a whole bunch of these labels because I knew I would be using them over and over again. And that way I wouldn't have to print things out again. Because, you know, that makes a big difference when you are doing the same thing over and over again to have a routine. So I really like this card too. So this is the base of the cardstock that I used for this, and then it had this nice tag with a bicycle on it, and then I used another piece of ephemera here where it says you're super, and then again I used that washi that I had. So that's the next one to go in. And then the last tab to go in here is going to be the to-do tab, and this is what the to-do tab looks like. And it has the base of the cardstock is here, and it actually has some radios on it, but you can't really see it. And then it has this television down here, which was a different piece of cardstock, and then I cut out this skate from the same cardstock as well. So let's put this on, and this is going to be our to-do section. All right, to do. Now, what I also wanted to do was I made like some dashboards to go in between each section as well. So I have the dashboards here. So I'm going to stick these in so they'll go behind each. They'll go behind each of these. So let's see. I think they're in a good way here. Let me just quickly do this. All right, I had an extra card back here. So the only thing I did with these was I cut this from the cardstocks from that same book, and then it's nothing on the back, and I just used the washi tape that I have. And you know, I got this washi tape from the dollar store, and it was lots of product on it, and I still have lots left. I even surprised myself with those. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to put some sticky notes. I'm going to put some sticky notes into each section also. So I'm going to go back to the front here, and on each of these little dashboard cards on the back here, I'm going to stick some sticky notes. And this is what I chose, and I got this from the dollar store, and it kind of fits the retro feels. The colors are a little bit off, but this was the best I could do with what I had because I didn't want to run out and go find stuff. So I'm just going to take maybe like 3 or 4 of these and put them in each section, and I find it very useful to do that. That way I don't have to hunt for any sticky notes when I need them when I'm actually within a section. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I have my sticky notes in each section, so I don't have to hunt for the sticky notes at all. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some note cards at the end. And what I did is I took one of my notepads, and this actually had Foxy at the top, and I think a lot of people recognize this. These came from the dollar store, and I just took them off the notepad and stuck some holes in them. And then I'm going to put these in the back. And I thought this kind of had that retro feeling. And the reason why I didn't leave the Foxy at the top is because I want more space to write than I do to look at the Foxy at the top. So you didn't know what I'm talking about. This is the notepad. So I cut this part off at the top and just used this piece only. And then we have some note paper. So I didn't have to worry about trying to print out any note paper. I just used the note paper that I already have. So the next thing I wanted to do is I actually made some cards that have some little notes on it for myself. And this is what the cards look like. So I have, let's see, we have notes to myself on how to print out my digital calendar, because if I haven't done it in a while, then I'll forget. And who wants to reinvent the wheel? Not me. This one is pre-planning checklist. This is a to-do key that I put in a few parts. This is another to-do key that I'll put in part of the planner here. And this is my evening routine. This one is some daily checks that I do every day when I'm doing my planning in the evening. And this is the daily planning right here. It tells me what to look for. And then this one right here is actually my morning routine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick these in now. Okay, I definitely had to speed that up because I couldn't remember where the cards went into. So I'm going to go back through this in just a moment. Now, the next thing that we need to put in, I made some dividers, and I wanted them to be clear, and you can see that they are clear, but I still wanted to see that, you know how you walk into a door and because it's all clean and it's clear, well, I wanted to kind of put something on here so that I would know that, you know, we have our little dividers here. So I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to cut slits in these so they'll just like pop in and out. But for now, I'm just going to stick them in, and I'm just going to put them all the way to the back because I don't know exactly where I'm going to use them at just yet. So I'll put them with the note card. So I made 3 of them, and oh, I made these, by the way, out of some lamination that I had left over for some projects. I always save those because they make really good bookmarks. They're very sturdy, as you can see. And then I just took some of the Mambi stickers and I just stuck them on here. That was it. So I just took the ones that I like. I tried to pick some in light colors, and it worked out really well. And I just cut them to the shape that I wanted, stuck them holes in, and voila. It was a wrap. So we're just going to stick those in the back for now. And then I also made some page flags. And if you notice, the page flags are actually have some of these actual cardstocks in it. So I made like some custom flags like you would get like from Target. They're very beautiful. I am so proud of these. I already used some of these already on some of the cards that are in here. But I'm just going to stick these in the front. Now they don't have a sticky back on them, so I will still have to use some actual adhesive on these, but I still want to put them in here because they're so pretty, and they match this. This is part of the theme. So the next thing I'm going to do before I go through everything is we're going to go ahead and decorate the weekly pages ahead of time. And the only thing we're putting on is the washi. So I'm going to kind of speed through that, and you can see what I'm doing. But again, I'm just using, I guess I need the pages out of here. I'm just using this graph paper, and then I'm just going to decorate it and kind of decorate it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, I also wanted to mention that I already picked out the washi that I'm going to be using. So I pre-planned that out also. So for each week, I planned kind of like purplish kind of theme. So I have, this is going to be for 1 week. You can see that. And then we have this one, it's the next week. And then this one. And then this one. Actually, I think this is supposed to go with this one. It kind of got thrown around in the box. Okay, so now we have the weeks in. So let me just bring this in just a bit so you can see what we're working with here. Okay, so I did, like I said, I did lots of pre-planning for this already, and I just have a few more things to stick in here. And I did like a new store list tracking, so I'll put each store in here, and I'm gonna put this in the beginning, which is something that I didn't do before, so I want to put that in here. And I did a new staples list because one of the viewers let me know that I had staples spelled wrong in the last one that I had, so I went ahead and corrected it. I was going to just keep using it until the end, but I said, no, let me correct it because I'm a terrible speller. So I'm so glad that they told me so I won't be looking like an idiot. All right. So pretty much that's everything that's going to go into this setup for the month. And I'm not going to transfer anything just yet until next week. So let me just go over this really quickly. So we put some things in the pocket here. We just put some cardstock in the back so it will protect the backing from the rings and also look pretty. And then we put our page flags in here, our custom page flags. I love those. And that's the first time I made those, so I'm very proud of myself. And then we put some little notes into the pockets themselves, and there's still room to stick other things in if I need to. It's not too stuffed. And then I also put down or put in some of the paper clips I'm going to be using, and I have one more that I want to put in here. I found these at the dollar store, you guys. I love them. So I'm going to be using those paper clips, and it says your adventure awaits. Love it. And then we have our dashboard that we can stick things on if we need to. We have our calendar section. Then we have a little dashboard with some post-it notes, so we won't have to go rifling through to find a post-it notice. In each section I've included post-it notes. Then I have a month at a glance because we can always use that. Then for each week I just sped through this, but I actually had to add a week as well. But I think the colors came out really good, and I really didn't think too much into this. I just printed out the graph paper. As you saw, I didn't do any measuring, and I did a little bit of eyeballing, and I also kind of folded the paper to find the middle because that was kind of the easiest way to do it. So 2 washi tapes I had to pick out, which was easy. And then this one as well, same thing. And they look very nice. Got this one, and then I had to pick out one more because there's one more week in March, so I picked this one out. So I had to go and rifle through my washi and find the ones that I wanted to use, which was pretty easy because I didn't give it too much thought. And this makes it so much easier to do the weekly. So I'll have like a to-do section or notes here, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you'll see it in the weekly setup. And so then we have where we're putting our digital calendar at here. Isn't that stunning, you guys? That's beautiful. And then we have another little dashboard with some post-it notes also. I have a Project Life card here with some notes here on how to print my calendar out so I won't forget. Then the next section is the store list section. And then I have a to-do key here that I made with some Project Life cards. And I also kind of embellished the cards as well. I don't know if you all can notice that, but they're really layered on. And then I also have some more post-it notes. And this is a store tracking list that I'm going to be using that I'm not using now. So I decided to add that in. And I fixed my staples, if anybody wants to know, yay. I fixed the spelling on that for the next month. And then we have Mom's Projects. And I'll just leave this blank for now. I'll probably just put some note pages in here. And it also has some post-it notes on our little dashboard for this section. Then we go into routines. And again, in the routines, I have my morning routine card, evening routine card, and we have our daily planning card and pre-planning card. So whenever I'm doing any of those things, I can just look in here and it's all there. And this has really been working out well for me. And then I have a dashboard here. And it has some sticky notes also for this section. And then I have the to-do section. And in the to-do section, we have our dashboard that has our sticky notes also. And then I have a to-do key here and also a daily checklist for when I do my to-dos daily. And again, this card is like really layered with some cardstock. And also what I wanted to show you all is when I cut this cardstock up, I still had like bits and pieces left over. So I just took my hole punch and then I punched some shapes out and I just put them in the bag. And then I was able to use those too. So now I have some ephemeral. So if you are doing your planner on a budget, think about getting cardstock because you can make your own Project Life cards. You can make your own dashboards with them. You can make your own ephemeral with them. It's just a ton of things you can do with the cardstock. So believe me, I didn't spend a lot of money on this, but it looks like it, doesn't it? It does. If you think this looks like it spent a lot of money, I spent a lot of money, give this video a thumbs up, okay? All right, and then I just had this last piece of cardstock that I had in here for a dashboard. It's kind of extra piece. And then I made some bookmarks here, and I'm just gonna slit them so that they just pop right in and out, and I can put them in any section. And then I have some notepads that I cut down to size and stuck some holes in it. Nothing special, didn't have to print anything out for that. And then that is pretty much it. And then we'll be putting our ink pen in here, and I'm just gonna add a pen in here right now. Just, I don't know if this is gonna be the pen that I'm gonna be using next week, but I'm gonna stick it in anyway. It's always not that easy to get these tight pins in. There we go. There we go. And then it's in. And then this is ready to go. So let's see how everything fits. Now, I have this cut for the Recollections planner. So they're probably a bit bigger than what would be in the Color Crush. And I know this is a deal breaker for some people because it's hanging out a little bit. But you know what? It's okay with me. That doesn't bother me a bit. And you can see how it looks before I even transfer information over. And I think it can hold quite a bit because there's a lot of room left here where the strap is at. So that is pretty much it for this setup video. And I want to thank everybody for coming along on this planning journey with me. And if you are not subscribed already and you like stuff like this, then I don't know what you're waiting on. You might as well go ahead and subscribe. And for those of you who have subscribed already, I just wanted to say thank you. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up because it really helps out immensely. Thumbs up, everybody. So with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease from your sweet lotus blossom and lovable Lizzie. Have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.